What's up, guys? I'm Nobody Special. And did easy monetary policy and the reckless printing of money just cause an oil spill in California? You ready? Hit it. Thank you for joining me. I'm Jack Gamble, and I'm Nobody Special. And over the weekend, there was an oil spill in Huntington Beach, California, with about 3,000 barrels of crude oil, or about 126,000 gallons, was spilled into the Pacific. Now, while they're still looking into the cause of this oil spill, it's possible that money printing and quantitative easing and inflation may have played a role in this oil spill. Now, I know that may seem like a stretch of the imagination, but we're going to look at a couple of things that say, hey, maybe that's really what happened here. Now, before we get too far into that, I have to ask you guys, could you please smash that big, beautiful like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell? It really helps me out, and it helps to keep this channel growing. Now, with that said, let's shrink my big, fat melon of a head and get into the article here. This is the headline. This is from CNN. That says, a leak at an oil pipeline off the coast of Southern California caused more than 100,000 gallons of oil to spew into the Pacific Ocean, coating local wildlife habitats, shutting down a swath of popular beaches, and potentially harming human health. The leak in the pipeline appears to have stopped, and oil removal efforts are underway, officials said. The breach, reported Sunday, occurred about 5 miles off Huntington Beach in Orange County, spilling the equivalent of an estimated 3,000 barrels or 126,000 gallons of post-production crude, local officials said. Now, here's where it's getting a little speculative, okay? Now, they still don't know. I want to emphasize here, I'm not a journalist, I'm not a financial advisor, all that stuff. I still want to emphasize that this is speculation here, but this is now a couple of outlets are reporting that it appears a ship's anchor may be the cause of the oil spill. Now, this is U.S. News and World Report. Officials investigating one of California's largest oil spills are looking into whether a ship's anchor may have struck a pipeline on the ocean floor, causing a major leak of crude. Are you starting to see how inflation may have been playing a role here? Well, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know I've been talking an awful lot about the situation at U.S. ports, and I have shown this map right here on almost a daily basis, maybe not daily, but several times a week for the better part of the last 4 months. And this map is showing the congestion at the dual ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles. And right to the south of Long Beach and Los Angeles, you'll see there is Huntington Beach, California. Now, this traffic has been getting worse and worse and worse all year long, really since, I've been covering this story since about June, but really it's been going on for all year. Every one of these green dots and red circles here, this is a ship that is at anchor. Okay? Now, I want to show you another map. This is a map of the pipeline in question, the pipeline that leaked the oil. And if you look at this map and this map here, let's zoom in a little bit for scale. You see all these ships at anchor? You see this map of the pipeline? Folks, are you seeing the common denominator here? With the number of ships that are at anchor there, yeah, I can see how a ship's anchor may have caused this oil spill. I can see what they're talking about in U.S. News and World Report here. Now, what does this have to do with inflation? Well, the reason why there are so many ships sitting at that port is because America has been buying so much imported crap from Asia for the last year. Why? Because money by the trillions has been dumped into our economy by Jerome Powell and his money printer going burr over at the Federal Reserve. Money in the form of stimulus, in the form of expanded unemployment benefits, in the form of special purpose vehicles, buying bonds over at the Federal Reserve. All of this money has been put into circulation, and you have the same amount of stuff and more money chasing it that's causing prices to rise, that's causing inflation problems, causing supply chains to break down, it's causing congestion at ports, it's causing trucks to back up and shortages at stores. And yes, folks, now it looks like it may have actually played a role in an oil spill. Because the reason why there are so many ships sitting at anchor right next to that oil pipeline in Long Beach near Huntington Beach is because all of that printed money is chasing things. It's buying goods, and most of our goods come from a boat from China. And now here it is, a perfect case, a perfect example of the butterfly effect, a perfect example of the law of unintended consequences, where we've dumped trillions of dollars into the system. We've told ourselves the effects are going to be transitory, that it's not going to cause big problems. And now we have an oil spill. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that a year ago I was sitting there saying, oh, they're printing money, they're going to cause an oil spill, right? Nobody could have predicted that happen. However, you can predict that when you dump dollars by the trillions into a closed ecosystem that is the global economy, you're going to cause problems. You're going to cause imbalances, and those imbalances are going to pop up in the most unexpected areas, like a sudden shortage of truck drivers, like a sudden shortage of semiconductors. That means you can't get a new car. And yes, a ship's anchor hitting a pipeline causing an ecological disaster. This can be at least partially attributed to money printing and to inflation. Absolutely. Now, again, I have to throw the asterisk in there that it's still just speculation that that's what happened. They haven't proven it, and the investigation is still ongoing. But if it does turn out to be a ship's anchor that caused this oil spill, then you bet inflation is part of the reason why. Absolutely. And this is what I keep saying on this channel, the fundamental flaw in central planners, in so much power being concentrated with just a few people over at the Federal Reserve, these few bankers who are making decisions for hundreds of millions of people, are causing problems that nobody can predict, because one person or 5 people cannot possibly make the right decision for 320 million Americans, 320 million unique individuals with their own unique set of circumstances and needs and wants and desires in their individual unique situation. That one person, no matter how intelligent, no matter how well educated, well informed, and knowledgeable, or good intentioned, no matter how good that person is, he cannot possibly make the right decision for 320 million people, because there's just way too much information. There's way too many variables. And the way you get better decisions made is by allowing those decisions to be made at the local individual level. Let those individuals have more control over the decisions in their lives, and more times than not, you'll end up with the right decision getting made. When one person makes a decision for 320 million people, you have millions of wrong decisions get made. Because for millions of people, that may not be the right choice. Case in point, Jerome Powell and his board of governors at the Federal Reserve printing trillions of dollars, making that decision for all of us, diluting our savings, taking money from our savings and our wages and diluting it and watering it down, dumping that newly printed money, trillions of it, into the system, causing the whole global supply chain to be thrown out of whack. And now we can't get a new car. We can't use cars, cost twice as much. There's shortages of the most random objects. And yeah, oil spills, folks. Oil spills now. You're darn right it was inflation. If it turns out it really was a ship's anchor that struck that oil pipeline, then you're darn right inflation played a role. Because look, I'm going to shrink me again. This problem did not exist a year ago. Before we started printing all of this money, this problem didn't exist. You had maybe 5 or 10 ships sitting out there at anchor. Now you've got 60, 70 boats sitting there with their anchors in the water, waiting, and it's starting to cause problems. And you're going to have more stories, maybe not more oil spills, but you're going to have more and more stories in the months to come of the unintended consequences of all of this money printing, and it is making life difficult for everyone, for all of us. Remember this. The next time somebody says it's a good idea for the government to do some stupid thing like mint a $1 trillion platinum coin and deposit it at the Federal Reserve, or some other cockamamie scheme that these central planners are coming up with to dump trillions of dollars more into the closed loop ecosystem that is the global economy. Just like when you dump oil into the ocean and you cause problems with the ecosystem, when you dump trillions of printed money representing no new value, no new wealth, it's just printed paper. When you dump all of that into a closed system, you cause die-offs and you cause problems, just like this oil is wreaking havoc in the ecosystem off of Huntington Beach. Folks, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this video. Again, thank you for putting up with me and my rant. I appreciate that. I know I got a little bent out of shape there, but you'll forgive my passion on the subject. Please, folks, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell. It really helps me out, helps me to keep this channel growing. And until next time, live small and dream big.